Hi everyone, it's Joy and welcome to the Global Share Fair Vlog Hop. This time we are doing projects with thank you. So I'm going to be using this Ornate Thanks and the Ornate layered dies, these beautiful detailed dies for my project. These items are in the annual catalog, which is going until the end of April 2022. So they are on, let's see, the thank you can be used for many different projects and many different types of styles. And it has all these wonderful sayings like just want to say, you made my day. I wasn't sure how to, and thank you. Thank you, my friend, for everything. So grateful from the bottom of my heart. Seriously, from all of us. You're amazing. Thanks for all your help. So these great little phrases that go with these larger sentiments for the thank you, so grateful, and the thanks. So the ornate dies are in the back. There are many layers and then some just dies that do little cutout sections. So those are lots of fun. For my project, I have paired it with the Designer Series paper, the hand pinned, and it has some really wonderful floral patterns with some subtle solid patterns on the other side. So again, make sure that you order from the demonstrator that invited you to this vlog hop. And if you found me and you don't have a demonstrator, I will have information at the end of the description on how you could order that. Be sure to order by the end of April to make sure that you get this set, because you never know, it just might be on the retiring list. Let's move these out of the way. Here is my finished project, and I've also done a little envelope flap. So let's move this and bring in our card base. This is the Misty Moonlight, and it is one of the in colors that will be retiring at the end of April. It is a very pretty kind of a denim color, and I have taken a half sheet card base. So here in the United States, it is 8.5 inches by 5.5 inches. If you're doing metric, then it will be about 14 by 9 by 21 centimeters. And then I've scored it in half at the 4.25 inch or 10.5 centimeters. So let's go ahead and fold this. And use my bone folder. Next, let me bring in the pieces that I'm going to be stamping. I have this Blushing Bride piece that is a 1/2 inch strip. And then this piece, which is Mint Macaron. So the measurements for everything, as usual, will be at the end of this video. I also need a basic white piece, and that has been cut with a very skinny layer around in the Mint Macaron. So let's go ahead and bring in my Misty Moonlight ink pad and my thanks stamp. Trying to eyeball that. I want it down towards the bottom but centered. So let's see if I can get that. And then for the just want to say, or just wanted to say, that one is going to go on this Blushing Bride piece. close up my ink pad to try to keep from getting too much inky fingers. So now I can go ahead and attach this piece onto my mint macaron using my seal. And I'm going to flip that over. And I've gotten a smudge, so I'm going to restamp that. Let's bring in this again and my thanks, and I'm going to let that dry just a little bit longer this time. There we go. Now give that a little bit longer drying time. And I'm going to bring in a piece of basic white that I've already cut with one of the die cuts. And then this piece that has already been die cut. And a piece of the Hand Pen Designer Series paper cut to fit the inside of this die. For imperial measurements, it's 2 inches by 5 inches. Metric, it would be 6.5 centimeters by 14 centimeters. Let's attach that with some of our seal tape runner. And I think I can go ahead and attach this to my mint macaron layer. Now, I am going to be placing this underneath. Normally you would think put it on top, but it kind of loses something, so I'm going to put it underneath. So I need to do some tape runner. And I want to put that over this direction so that it goes about here. So let me bring in my sample so I can see it and reference it, and so can you. Now I need to have some ribbon. So I cut a very long length of ribbon. It was approximately 16 inches or 40.5 centimeters. And I'm using one of my Stampin' blends. I'm using the dark So Saffron. Started coloring it, and now I'm going to just finish that. I like using the blends because they are alcohol based, and this will dry very quickly. So this is the white crinkled seam binding ribbon, and then I'm just coloring it to match my project. So now I can tie this around this piece here, tie it in a nice little bow. I've allowed for plenty of extra on the end so that I can just trim that part off. And I want this up just a little bit farther. And then I will trim that with my paper snips. So that I've got a nice little ribbon on here. Gives it a little extra touch. Now I can attach this onto the front of my card. Leaving a little bit of border at the top. And it pretty much matches the sides. We have that. Now I need some dimensionals. I love dimensionals. It just makes everything pop. Let's line this up into the solid area here. Leaving my ornate borders around. Then I need some on this piece. I think I'm going to use my mini dimensionals for this one. I like to use lots of dimensionals so I don't have any saggy areas. Now this one is going to be coming off, so I need an extra dimensional. I need to double up on that one under the just, so that it winds up being the same height, because my thanks piece already has dimensionals under it, so I need to have double on that side. So there we have the front of our card. Now I have also pre-die cut an inside for this card using one of those dies that I said doesn't do a layer, but it does a cutout piece. When you are removing these little pieces, especially if you're doing this little heart or some of these scrolly pieces, you want to be a little more careful. You can use the die brush end of the Take Your Pick tool. So this is the Take Your Pick tool, and it has a die brush end that you can purchase. And let's go ahead and attach this into the inside of our card so that we can write a very personalized note on the inside. So there we have that piece. And now lastly, we have our envelope. So I have one of our basic white envelopes, and I have a piece of the Designer Series paper that coordinates. I could use the yellow, but I am going to go ahead and use the floral that matches. So this piece, it needs to be a little bit, just a little bit larger than your flap. I cut it to where it meets the edges here, and then I will trim off the rest of this piece. So I need some of our liquid glue to make sure that this sticks down really well, because I just might want to put this in the mail. Now be careful when you're doing this glue. You don't want too much glue towards the edge, because it will ooze out on you. So let's just get a nice amount, a little bit here again, so that it will go through the mail well. Let's go ahead and match that right up on the edge here. And I also like the liquid glue because it gives you a little bit of wiggle room. So now this is on here. Smooth that down. Make sure that it goes really well. And then take your paper snips and trim right around, matching the edges of the flap. So there you have an envelope with a matching flap. I almost forgot my bling. I'm going to be using some of these champagne rhinestone basic jewels. I like to use the spatula end of my Take Your Pick tool. So I'm just going to put some of these into the centers of some of these flowers. I try to pick odd numbers because odd numbers tend to be more pleasing. See if I can get this. There you have my finished card. I'll bring in my original, and you'll notice that on my original I only have 3 of the rhinestones, where on this one I have 5 of them. But it just depends on how this floral pattern comes out when you cut your paper. You might want to change your design just a little bit, or add your embellishments in slightly different places. Again, my bow is slightly different, but you know what? No one will have seen my original. So this one looks just fine, even though it has slight difference in the embellishments. Again, thank you for tuning in to our vlog hop this month. Please be sure to look in the description and click the link to the next person in the hop so that you can see all of the great projects with our thank you theme this time. Until next time, bye.